In January of 1978, a man broke into a Florida State University sorority house. The next morning, 2 sisters were found murdered in their rooms, and 3 sisters were found brutally injured. In July of 1979, Theodore Bundy was convicted and sentenced to death row for the murders of Lisa Levy and Margaret Bowman, the 2 sorority sisters, says CBS News, April 11, 2020. The confession of these 2 murders soon led to the admittance of kidnapping, raping, and killing over 30 different women. It is important to understand cases such as Ted Bundy's because it makes you more aware of your surroundings. Also, the trials of these women against this man also make you realize that it could be any family member or loved one in this situation, so caution is always needed. My name is Alexandra Rogers, and today I will be discussing with you how Ted Bundy was mentally ill, how he killed multiple women, and how he was found innocent for years on end. To start, Ted Bundy was not mentally well. He was deemed a psychopath, defined by Psychology Today, December 30th, 2019, as someone who lacked interpersonal empathy and was unable to feel guilt or remorse. In the beginning, Ted Bundy never confessed to these murders. He told everyone that he was innocent. That was until his interviews with Stephen Michaud that he revealed everything. Now, while he still told Michaud that he was innocent, he said he knew the man that had murdered all these women and told Michaud in full detail what had happened. It's like he was not self-aware, via why he spoke in third person, not even realizing he was speaking of himself. Bundy also suffered from paranoia and narcissism. In court, the paranoia drove him to believe that his attorneys, people paid to defend him, were actually plotting against him, and the narcissism drove him to actually argue against his attorneys in court. Secondly, Ted Bundy killed multiple women. To start, he had a specific preference, and it was white, wealthy, college co-ed women. He felt these women were most similar to him, therefore he took ownership over them. He even said in his interview with Michaud that he viewed women as merchandise. He took these women through 3 different tactics, first being authority. He would impersonate a police officer, go into a public place, find a woman that fit his description, tell her that her car is being broken into and that she needed to come with him, and she would never be seen again. The second was helplessness. Due to the fact that Ted Bundy was so intrigued by these college women, he would dress up as a shy and timid young man with a broken arm trying to carry books. He would then drop these books in front of these women, and they would offer to help. He would say his car was just over the hill and that she needed to follow him, and they would never be seen again. The third tactic was assistance. Ted Bundy would then impersonate a fireman, go into a public place once more, find a woman that fit his description, and say that her car is on fire and that she needed to identify her car outside with him. She would never be seen again. All 3 of these tactics have one thing in common. Bundy craved domination over them. According to ABC News, December 30th, 2020, Bundy used these tactics in California all the way to Florida, with 5 different states in between. Lastly, Bundy was found innocent for years on end. Due to the fact he believed he was innocent, it was very easy for him to convince others he was as well. He was a white male, attractive, and very quiet. His bland personality helped him to fly under the radar. As a psychopath, he wanted to seem like a good and mild man so that no friend or acquaintance would ever tie him to these murders. Secondly, the term serial killer had not even been coined yet. If there were murders back then, it was because the killer knew the person he was killing and there was some sort of tension in between them. That is how Ted Bundy slipped through the cracks. He had no motivation to kill these women other than what fit his description. He defied the social laws that were put into place to cover up his true identity. I've just discussed with you how Ted Bundy was mentally ill, how he killed women, and how he was found innocent for years on end. It really makes you ask yourself the question, how careful am I around strangers?